hello there and welcome. Thank you for tuning us in today, and I hope you'll stay tuned. I think you and I have a chance to maybe think about something we haven't even pondered before. And I'm really pleased to have the people here with me. We're going to talk about foster care. And I don't know about you, but we hear about it and we know it's a good thing, but we really don't know what's involved. And I'm amazed sitting here talking with my guests what I'm learning. And I'm very pleased to have Brenda Parks here. Brenda is the director of foster care for Miracle Hill.
Yes, yes.
And Miracle Hill is a miracle worker.
Well, we're grateful. Yes, thank you.
And next to her is Dan Bracken, and Dan is a foster parent.
Yes,
and he's also, you have 3 children, right?
we have 5 total, 2 biological, 2 adopted, and 1 foster child.
So you have 2 of your own, 2 adopted, and 1 foster.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I tell you, these people, they're saints. That's what they are. And next to her is Mary Reardon, and Mary has 3 adopted children.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm just so pleased to have you all. This is the time, maybe we don't think about the needs of other people more than we should do it all the time, not just certain times of the year. But I guess to find a child who doesn't have a home or a family, that is just the ultimate sadness to me, you know? And you all are filling the need for children. Bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So how did you come to this point? Tell us, Brenda, tell us what is involved in becoming a foster parent? I mean,
Well, thank you so much for having us. There is a critical need for foster families in the upstate.
Really? Right now?
Right now, there really is. And so whenever we get the opportunity to talk about fostering and what it means and have the families also share about fostering, certainly we appreciate that opportunity. But one of the first things that's needed is that you answer that call. You know, the scriptures pointedly tell us that in James that pure religion is to care for the orphans. And so one of the things that we do is we appeal to the believer, those who love the Lord with all their heart and with all their might, to know that they can do this and that there are children out there who have a need. And so both Dan and Mary can share with you about how they were led to decide to be foster parents.
it's a big undertaking.
It is, and it's not something that you take lightly. We didn't set out to be foster parents. But most people, I think, that get into it saw a child somewhere, and it changed their reality. And so for me, I work in real estate, and saw the remnants of a family that was broken apart, and a child going into care, and I couldn't shake it. And then a second encounter with a child in foster care system, I couldn't walk away and not figure out what our role was. And so we started off with mentoring. Mentoring led to fostering, and then, 5 years later, we've fostered several children now. So it's not something that you just wake up and say, I want to be a foster parent. Usually it's something you're exposed to and you see that child. And that's the key, I think, for...
Well, it's a big commitment.
It is a big commitment.
So now what do you go through to become a foster parent? You have to be investigated, I guess, don't you? And then you have to commit.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole application process that you go through, and Miracle Hill is really good with helping you through all the stuff that you have to do, but there's a background check. They just have to check you out, make sure that you're able to take care of these children,
The state takes seriously where they're going to place these children. And so everything that you go through, is it the most convenient process? No, it's not. But the state has taken responsibility for this child for a brief time, and so they want to make sure that my home is safe and that I'm suited to parent and that I can take care of this child and the needs that they have. So the process is designed to make sure we're a good place for that child to be for a little while.
I think I'd also like to add that you guys could certainly affirm is that we also respect the family's desires. And so the family gets to dictate, what type of child do you feel that you could best parent? What age? What gender? How
Okay.
many? So you remain in control of your household as to who would be best suited for your household. We respect that very much.
And sometimes there'll be like maybe a brother and a sister, and you don't want to separate them. So you have to find a home that would take.
That is definitely best practice. And so one of the things that's critically important is that we find families who are willing to take sibling groups. And I think certainly that Mary, you can talk because you took a sibling group as well about that. So there are those opportunities when we do have families who take sibling groups, and there is that need.
And you've done that.
Yes, ma'am. We took a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old, brother and sister, and then our first placement was a 5-day-old baby girl and a 15-month-old little boy.
Oh,
and
my.
So we've taken several sibling sets at this point.
And do you commit then are these children, would they become adoptable? Or do you commit for a certain length of time? Or
The goal for the children is reunification with their families. We want the families to heal. We want them to be able to function.
the idea is that the children
Go back home.
would go back to their family.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what you really want.
It is. The system is designed to help these children go back home, and that's what you want to happen when it can happen. And so, the next question is it hard to let them go?
Oh,
It is. It is. There's nothing that Mary and I have that your viewers at home don't have. But when you see that child and you hear their story and you understand where they're coming from, then you can sacrifice your comfort and your preferences for that child's best interest.
don't some of these children, through no fault of their own, come with some pretty dramatic backgrounds that affects their ability to adjust or their behavior or, I've been a parent and I know
They do.
circumstances do affect a child.
And that's part of our job as the foster parents is to take them in and get them help where they may need help. If there's therapy they may need or, developmental delays, we try to help them get in, programs or whatever may help them, grow in those areas or, get past.
So you know in advance what trauma the child has been through so that you can help to meet their needs.
One of the things that's important of working with the agency and working with Miracle Hill is that we collaborate and we work together with the family to identify whatever resources might be needed for that child. So when a child comes to a home, they come in the middle of the night sometimes, they come in crisis. And so when they're placed with the family then is attentive to their needs, talks with the caseworkers, talks with the licensing specialists to help identify resources in the community to help that child overcome what may have brought them into care.
And this can be a short term or a long term.
It can be a day. It can be 3 years. It can be a lifetime. And I think the question you just asked a while ago about the conditions they come in, I think the opposite side of that question is the blessing these children bring.
Yes.
And I believe we live in a culture right now where kids, we're raising a lot of narcissistic children. And so what the blessing the children that have come through our home have been to our children is it's allowed our kids to see a world that they don't get to see.
So you had children of your own.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And then you took in.
And it's taught them that their life, the comfortable life they live is not what everybody else has. It's taught them that what Scripture says on a page, it's taught them how to live it out in real ministry and how to sacrifice and serve others. And so it's been, on the whole, it's been a blessing for our children more than anything that's hurt them.
So it's been a learning experience for your own children.
Exactly.
That, to me, I sit here and, you're saintly. Because I know it isn't easy to be a parent, even when they're your own and you want them and you love them. There can be very traumatic times with kids. And to open the door to children in need, I think it's what God, I guess, really wants us to do. But it takes a lot of courage.
It does. It takes a lot of courage. And one of the things that we do at Miracle Hill is we try to come alongside our foster families and help them to be knowledgeable and equipped in order to be able to meet the needs of the children, being well informed and versed on children's development and what they may need. And when there is a challenge, being there for that family, knowing that they can call and help.
Now, and are you reimbursed, or do you have to say up front, I have enough money to take these, feed and clothe and do what needs to be done medically or whatever for the child?
Well, you are checked out financially. You do give your financial information. They want to make sure that you're, stable and able to take care of your own selves anyways. And the added, children that may come in your home. But yes, there is a reimbursement for the children when they come into your home, depending on the age that they are.
But people do not come forward to take a child because of what money they would be worth.
No.
We are reimbursed, but I did the math on the little boy we have in our home right now, and we
Yeah.
get between 52 to 56 cents per hour is what we're paid. So there's the notion that foster parents are out there doing this for money, which is a huge myth.
I've heard people say that.
Oh, if that was how, if we're
That-
getting rich
that's
off
the
this,
reason
please
I
show me how
brought
we
it
do
up.
it, because it's not happening right now. It's not happening. But the state has made steps to increase the reimbursement rate. We'd gone close to 20 years without increasing it. In the last couple of years, they have provided additional funding that helps pay for daily necessities for that child.
What, clothing for school?
Yes.
And
And clothing,
Just
transportation.
basic.
Yeah, yes, basic.
no frills.
Yeah, you're not going to retire off being a foster parent.
Yeah. And what does a person have to do to become? Suppose somebody's out there is there an age limit? If what is required of people?
That's a good question. There is not an age limit, because here's the thing that's important to know is that there are children placed from ages 0, infant, through age 18. And all ranges. And so we certainly look for candidates, applicants of all ages that can meet the needs of a child.
Okay.
And we work with that. The first thing that I'd like to do is I'd like to encourage families to consider it, to pray about it, certainly, to seek God's will, but then to go to our website, miraclehill.org, and look at the website and consider foster care. Give me a call. Certainly my number is on the screen. And I'd love to talk with them further about foster care and how it would fit for their families, because we know God made us all unique individuals with different gifts and talents. And so that way we work with those families individually.
Okay. And there are needs, we have to go to a break, but there are needs to be met for like a short period of time.
Yes.
Maybe a month.
And there may even be a need, families who will be willing to be respite, and we can talk about that.
All right, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.